Hello everyone, I'm Chester44 and welcome to this Let's Play of Blades of Avernum. Last episode, we started a new scenario, Adrift, and it appears we've been caught by a ghost ship. Not sure what their plan is with us, but we're trying to find our way through. Let's start by taking a look at this ladder here and go up to the next level. When you reach the top, you run up against a locked trap door. You don't have the key, and you don't like the idea of trying to pick the lock upside down at the top of a tall ladder. I'm guessing that's the same thing here. Yep. Fortunately, with a painful creak, the nearby door opens. Oh! Alright, they came out. There goes that one. Thank you! There we go. Alright, so that's what happened with that. Good to know. Alright, let's go up here. Climb the stairs. You finally emerge onto the deck of the ship, and you are greeted by flashes of lightning and thunder. The ship is clearly in the middle of a very strong storm, though no rain is falling yet. Between the thunder and the sea swells, it's getting hard to hear. This doesn't stop you, however, from noticing the deckhands shouting incoherently. As the ghosts draw translucent daggers, you notice the bones that seem to litter the deck. This is not a good thing. A curse ray! Just what I did not want. You can actually... There, that'll help out. There goes one. There goes another. Excellent. Got through that. Found the front of the ship. I don't want to jump off. That is a lot of bones. Holy crap. A chill wind picks up as you make your way across the deck, cutting straight through your armor. The wind is strong enough that it's able to shuffle loose bones around the deck. Then for just a minute the wind dies down and the bones continue moving. A freshly assembled group of skeletons begins to shamble towards you, clutching broken weapons and shields. Their bones have been at the same time preserved and warped by the sea salt, but they don't look very sturdy. Still, they block your path along the ship. As you reduce some skeletons to their constituent bones, you begin to think this will be easy. However, a rattling sound soon catches your attention. The bones are quickly reassembling themselves into full skeletons. This is going to suck. Okay. Okay. How do we get through this? Is this just going to be an eternal thing? Well, Sheik leveled up. I mean, this is going to kill a lot of these skeletons, but... ah, crap. I have a feeling we're supposed to get up to the top there, and that's how we get through this. Okay, reloading. Okay, so now we need to... Okay, I guess we need to get back to there. Okay. Right, you cast this again. You fire at that. Okay. And there's all those skeletons. Oh boy. As I said, I believe what we need to do is get to the far end here. So, what I'm going to do is cast haste on Fox to try and get him through. And here come the skeletons. Okay, they reassemble. Okay. You should be fine over there. As you reach the edge of the bone piles, you encounter a welcome sight, the ship's wheel. At the very least, this means that the ship can be steered back to a safe harbor where you can find a priest. Then a tall, cloaked figure fades into view ahead of you. It seems that the wheel is already manned. However, if you want to do anything with the wheel, you should probably work your way out of the field of bones. Right, a bit of healing. He's not hostile. Now that you've gotten away from the piles of bones, the skeletons fall apart and clatter to the deck harmlessly. Okay. When you approach this door, it discharges a small bolt of electricity that strikes you. It stings a little, but it's not that bad. On a hunch, you kick a loose bone over towards the door. When it hits the door, it is instantly reduced to a small pile of black dust. Might not be a good idea to use that door yet. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Right, so, stay away from there. So stay away from the southern edge of the field of bones. And now we gotta get up there again. Okay, stay away from that field of bones, then. Alright, we've made it to the top here. Alright, let's see who this guy is. A figure with long robes stands in front of the ship's wheel. Or rather, floats in front of the wheel. You can't see any feet under the robe. The robe itself is black. In fact, it somehow looks darker than black. You've heard sages say that black is really just the absence of light, but this color seems to be the complete opposite of light. It stares at you, or at least you think it does. You can't see its eyes, and it makes you feel uncomfortable. Hello? You attempt to greet the figure, hoping that the sign of goodwill will convince it not to try and kill you. However, after trying several different greetings that you've picked up in your travels, the figure doesn't respond. Exasperated, you resort to hand gestures. But finally, when you're about to start throwing obscene gestures at it, the figure speaks. Of course, just like about everything else on this boat, you can't understand a word it's saying. It doesn't sound even remotely like anything you've heard before. You're not even sure some of the sounds it makes can be made by humans. I don't understand. What are you saying? The figure doesn't seem to register your response. However, after neither of you can speak for a good minute or two, it lifts an arm and points at your head. You cringe, expecting the worst. But then your mind fills with a series of highly detailed images, to the point where it's almost hard to actually understand any of them. However, they seem to assemble themselves in proper order, and you watch them. You see a robed figure, definitely a living human, unlike the figure before you, at the wheel of a ship, one decidedly brighter than this. Then the image dissolves into a stormy sea with a fearsome-looking man wielding 2 scimitars. The man with the blade stalks up and down the deck, and then a flash of lightning shows him killing a member of the crew. The man goes on to kill the entire crew before advancing on the robed helmsman. As the man brings a blade down onto the helmsman, a bolt of lightning obscures the view, which is followed by the side of the ship, the one you're on now, plowing through a thick storm. The robed figure pulls its arms back, and the images fade. Hold on. A robed figure at the wheel of a ship. Then a stormy sea with a fearsome-looking man wielding 2 scimitars. The man with the scimitars moves up and down the deck and kills the crew. The man attacks the helmsman, and then lightning doesn't show what blinds what happens, and then the ship goes into a storm. I have another question. The robed figure still floats motionless in front of the wheel, seeming to survey the ship. When its eyes pass over you, you feel your skin turn clammy. Picture yourself swimming away from the ship. The figure again points at your head, and you see a very clear image of yourself being eaten by sharks. What about taking the wheel and stealing yourself? The figure points at your head, and you see a clear image of yourself lying face down on the deck, lying in a puddle of what is probably your own blood. Sailing to a friendly harbor? The figure again points at your head, and you see a fleeting image of the man with 2 swords, followed by a flash of lightning. After that, all you can see is the ship forever circling a dark sea. Picture yourself killing the man with 2 swords. The figure points not at you, but down onto the lower level of the deck. You hear the sound of a door unlocking. Next, the figure points down at the piles of bones on the deck, and the rattling sound you've been growing accustomed to ceases. Lastly, the figure points at you. A blurry image fills your mind, where you stand in a dark room with a man wielding 2 swords. The man shouts something, then the image melts into the side of the ship sailing off into the sunset. So that's what we have to do. Find this man with the 2 swords and kill them. Now that the cloaked figure has unlocked the door, you feel much safer using it. However, if the figure was telling the truth, then you'll have quite a fight ahead of you. Alright, before we do, Bonnie, if you don't mind, drink that. Can we, oh good, Fox can level up. Melee weapons. And defense. Sheik? Yeah, melee weapons and defense. Bonnie? Strength. And a point in bows. And Draco, nothing. Alright. Alright, let's see if we can do this. Enter the door. You enter the dark and musty chamber, passing by a few rotting pots full of seawater. It smells like death, plain and simple. Suddenly the air becomes dry as a bone, and you hear a sound like a whip crack. We're trapped. A strange mist begins to coalesce on the floor. This particular ghost seems almost pleased by your presence, although the maniacal grin it displays is of some concern, as are the two wickedly sharp blades it wields, which seem to trail some sort of spectral energy. Cocking its head at what would be a jaunty angle among the living, it says something. Just like every other damn spirit on this ship, you can't understand it. It seems to wait for a response. Unsatisfied by your complete ignorance of its language, it lunges at you, blades twirling. Okay, then. The captain bellows something incoherent, and you feel the air in the room crackle. The beam strikes Bonnie, who immediately stops moving. Paralyzed and of all people, it had to be Bonnie. The beam strikes Captain Samantha, who cries out in pain and sinks to one knee. The captain's swords soundlessly fall to the floor and almost instantly disappear. The captain, on the other hand, utters a long string of what is probably cursing. In your experience, it normally is. At the edges of the captain's form start to shimmer and fade, a low keening sound reaches your ears. It seems to be coming from the ship itself. The sound starts rising in pitch until you can't hear it anymore, at which point the captain finally disappears. It feels as if a heavy pressure is lifted from your mind. Captain Samantha turns to you, a wide grin on her face. We did it! Now we'll finally be able to get back to the Empire. So we shall. You didn't drop anything, but we got out of it. Now that the barriers have fallen, you can get a good look at the captain's quarters. As you would expect, the room is in an advanced state of disrepair, and the smell of mildew hangs heavy in the air. The skeleton is completely clean of flesh and bears no distinguishing marks. You don't even see any obvious signs of foul play. Odd. When you open the chest, you find a key hooked to the underside of the lid. You take it. And we got a silver ring and a poison potion. Did he take poison? You open the trap door, climb down. You enter what appears to be a storeroom, one which hasn't been opened in a long time. As with everywhere else on the ship, the smell of mildew is overpowering. A steel spear and a bronze helmet. And we've got a steel short sword and a small steel shield. I mean, it's valuable. Ah, the other side here. Trash. A carved stone spiral for some reason. Trash. 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 Nimble gloves and captain's scimitar. So what's a captain's scimitar? 4 to 16, plus 10 life drain, cast smite at level 50. That's pretty impressive. Pretty damn impressive. Alright. That goes out that side. Nothing in there. Okay, climb back up. Climb the stairs. It's not as if you really know, what with the apparent language barrier and all, but you feel as if you just took down the spirit in charge on this boat. And now, as you stumble around on the deck, you can't help but think that you might yet get home. No sooner does this thought cross your mind than a gale-force wind rips across the deck, scattering loose bones everywhere. The familiar figure of the helmsman floats before you. It extends an arm towards you, and you briefly glimpse an image of the ship sailing towards a sunlit island, and more importantly, a crowded harbor. Then the image dissolves, and you are left on the deck of the ship, surrounded by crumbled skeletons and a robed figure who makes your skin crawl. The figure points at the now unattended wheel. Before you have a chance to say, think, or do anything, the figure turns and starts gliding away. Without even acknowledging you, the robed figure simply disappears from the deck of the ship, making you wonder if it was ever really there. You reach the unoccupied wheel and start scanning the horizon. As you expected, you have no idea where you are. A storm continues to brew over your head. With the helmsman gone and the ship's captain defeated, by Empire maritime law, this ship is as good as yours. What do? Sail away. Since you have no idea where you actually are, you decide that just picking a direction and sticking with it should see you back to somewhere civilized. But before you can pick a random direction, an image forms in your mind. You see the ship sailing towards a sunlit island, and more importantly, a busy harbor. When the image fades, you find yourself gripping the wheel and holding the ship to a course. Never one to ignore a positive omen, you maintain that course. A day later, you leave the storm behind. The day after that, you find yourself sailing into the same dock at Woodsmuir from which you originally departed. Of course, nobody believes your story. The end. Okay then. You know, that was actually pretty damn well put together. There were moments of stress when I wasn't sure whether I'd be able to get through. There was good writing in it. It did a very good job of getting the atmosphere out, or the ambiance, or whatever you want to call it. That was a pretty good story. Yeah. I'm looking forward to what else this Ephesos guy has made, especially after we did just one scenario, and it came out pretty damn good. Very nice. Well, next episode we'll move on to another scenario that this guy's done. I am indeed quite curious. I guess this episode's going to be a bit shorter, but it's no big deal. That'll be in the next episode. So until then, I'm Chester44, that is Fox, Sheik, Bonnie, and Draco. This has been a Blades of Avernum Let's Play, and I shall see you all next time.